to that when people say, I want the CEO. I want the guy who's been doing this 25 years and has a degree in finance.
Right. Well, two things. One is I certainly am still very engaged and involved in the business. So, if one of our team members, partners needs me to be there.
That's true. I email you, and within 5 minutes, you've emailed me back, I have your number, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I'm still very passionate, but I'm still very much in the field. So if one of our, partners requires us to be there, then, I'm there with them as well. So I'm front and center with them any time that's required as well. But the other key piece as well is our team members basically, I think they're as good as myself. So if they have to go on an appointment, they can basically take care of it from A to Z as well. They're so well trained today that, from listings to buyers, that I think that, if they're to replace me, they would do equally as good of a job. So, that's one of the reasons we meet every Wednesday, to get together, to kind of brainstorm, discuss what we've gone through that week. We go through, different scenarios. And I feel, honestly, when they're on the field, they're just a representation of myself.
I would love to. Can I come sit in on one of those ones? I would love to.
Tomorrow morning.
I'd love to see that in action there. How do you? We've got 35,000 realtors. In a year, the McDadi team does 600-700 transactions. And you've got 25 realtors there. Maybe some do a little more, but on average, we're doing 30-40 deals a year. That's a lot. That's a very that's great for the individual. How does Sam McDadi pick? Who's going to be on the team? What do you go through? When you said that the people on my team are just like myself.
Yes.
And you make sure that they are relationally, business mind, all that kind of stuff. How do you pick?
It's very difficult because we're getting maybe 2 to 3 applications a day of realtors wanting to join the team. So it's pretty,
really?
And we want to respond to every single one of them because that's very important for us. So, it's hard, and we're not really, the doors really aren't open necessarily to grow our business in terms of team members today because we're happy with the number we have. If a great talent comes along the way, obviously we'll make room for it. But, the key pieces are for us, and I don't mind if somebody's brand new because we can, take them with no bad habits, etc.
Exactly. I was going to say sometimes you probably prefer that.
Yeah, actually, because you can sometimes you're in the business 20, 30 years and
get a bit of an ego.
You don't want to necessarily, and not always the case, but sometimes you don't want to change your habits and you think you've got it all down. And I believe you've got to be a student for life, right? So the team members have to operate on high integrity. So if they don't have integrity, they're not going to run their business that way. We don't have any use for that, right? Number 2, they've got to be willing to learn, and they've got to have a certain capacity to want to work hard because we don't some team members work harder than others, but all the clients should have a positive service experience with anybody they're associated with, right? So, there's a multitude of things, and they've got to be good team players. They've got to gel with the group because it's like a family to us. So if you come in and you can't really kind of feel good about being around the group, then it's not going to work as well, too.